Your mic's on. Ini
Yeah. Okay, I think we're getting just about ready here. Are you good to go, Jen? Abby, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. We'll call today's quarterly meeting to session. Jen, will you please do roll call?
Tom McDonald,
Here?
Anita Matt,
Present.
Jennifer Finley. Here. Jim Molitor,
Here.
Carol Langford. Here. Glenn Titi,
Here.
Bing Matt. Ellie Bundy. Present. Martin Charlo,
Present.
Mike Dolson,
I'm here.
James Steele Senior.
Thank you, Jen. Stephen, can I ask you to start us out this morning with the prayer?
لملمت خاتو كني الكوبن بومين وكسكالي شتن بيس يتخواسكت سكوات شكس and west of me. Went down there last night. There was about 300 people there. They named off the names. Es atse ja pregni. Tak kes hoop. Tak stem keks. When noonam seet was greater. Help us out today. Quarterly meeting again. Remember when I used to come in here with Pat Pierre with quarterly meetings. Now he's gone. Help us out today, and let's understand each other. Let's be happy. Happy for everything. Went to the powwow last night, celebration. Take care of those people down there. They come from long ways. When they go home, watch their roads, highways. Hope when they get home, they got their their house still sitting there. Just take care of it. Let's be happy. Let's go down there and support their celebration. Go happiness. Go dancing. Go drumming. Go eat a lot of fried bread. So anyway, grandfather, just watch over us and let's have a good meeting today. Lamlemt.
Lemps. Well, I asked the drum or flag song. Thank you, Drum. Well, good morning, everybody. We have an abbreviated schedule as normal for our 4th of July celebration. Quarterly, we try to make sure we don't want to keep people away from their family and friends as we're gathering. So we have a brief agenda. So at this time, I would open up the mic to any elder that would like to speak. Stephen? You can come up to the table if you want. Stephen? We want you to have a chair up in front. Get the red light. There you go.
Okay. Kasquext Chupen. And good to come here, just like I mentioned. Kind of sad, you know. I went to Memorial yesterday. And there were so many people out there. I thought about it, you know, things that's gone now, and I talk about it. the celebrations different. The people, it's changed, you know. We go with the flow, I guess. We just, whatever we do, you know. And remember when I used to come in here, when Pat Pierre and him sat there. And sad, you come in here, I'm not alone, but there's people that's different, you know. And sat there and listened to the drum beat, that's what they call it, from the heart spoof. I used to drum all the time when I was younger. Then Pat Pierre, Pete Beaverhead used to tell me a long time ago, I used to go visit him. Just like I told you guys before, he was my dad, my leader, my medicine man, my everything. And he used to say, if you quit drinking, you go a long ways. You got a lot of things in your head and your heart, your spouse. You could be a good man. But I was like, you know, I don't know, you know. We used to sit there and he'd visit with me and talk. He said, I used to go hunting all over up there in the mountains behind our place. And he said, now I just got stories. That's all I got is stories. A lot of stories to tell. Where I used to go hunt, fish, relaxing, just up there, you know. Said, if you get older, you're going to find out about these things. So anyway, here I am sitting. It is true. It is true. Just like I said before, I haven't drank in about 55 years. And I sit back, and last night I was at the celebration ground. I was thinking all the people that we lost, the things that we used to do, the celebrations, all the teepees were set up. No MC, I member of Baptist Patsy, they call him. Evenings he start walking around. He was our MC. He'd walk around. Sammy Cookswenchi, get ready. We're gonna dance. 9 pipes were the only drum we had. You go sit up. They would start singing away. No grand entry, no nothing. Just go out there and dance. Have a good time, haul around. Now, if you holler, the cops come in there and pick you up, you know, so nobody hollers, you know. You know, happiness. That was really happiness, you know. You know, then the powwow kind of went down. You know, Patsy, wow, telling the people it's time to dance, time to get ready. We'd dance until about 11. Then you could hear the elders got their quickasoos and concos, cannabis dance. Oh, just happiness, you know. That was all about, you know, getting daylight. They'd have a drum out there, wake up song, you know. You'd get the biggest man I could remember to pull the person out. People follow that drum, and if you're not, these are the Indian laws. You can't go in there if somebody's standing at the door. But if there's nobody standing at the door, they'll go in there. They'll drag you out, you know. Not supposed to get mad, but that's the way it was, you know. Pull you out. That's all gone now, you know. It's all got RVs, you know. One time they told me to go up early in the morning to sing the wake up song. I went up there, got a mic, and I started singing. Somebody down there was sleeping in. Hey, I'm still sleeping. So I quit. I never did go back up there. So anyway, things has changed, Myself has changed. And I'm a war dance chief this year. My dad was the first one to be a war dance chief. And I remember when they had him for a war dance chief, you didn't have to be a veteran. You're just the kind of guy, the kind of guy that Indian ways he knew, He was a medicine man, he was everything, And that changed, You have to be a veteran to something, Things changed there, and pretty soon the powwow started to go down, the celebration. I remember when we used to dance for a bottle of pop, 10 o'clock, they would go get a pop, we're happy, And pretty soon start getting a lot of drums. People start coming over, prize money, grand entries. Now you can't even holler because if you holler around, you get picked up, a long time ago. Just happiness, What happened to that happiness? Yay, And that's what I think about, as an elder. I always wanted to be an elder, when I was young. Oh, there's an elder over there. He'd come in, tell you what to do. He knew the ways. Everywhere you go, there was an elder with them. They were the bosses. Even if they're wrong, they're still the bosses. Yeah. We go over there and today, you're not the boss anymore, the elders. Nobody got me a coffee. Nobody got me a donut. He just walked right by me. Things like that's changed, I'm an elder and you should respect your elders, That's why I wanted to be old when I was young, Today I'm old. Where am I at, But I'm happy to be here, It reminds me of Pat, it reminds me of the drummers, reminds me of the council, Makes me happy to come in here, especially if you're all here, Make me feel good, Help the people out there, But today I talk about powwows, I talk about celebrations, talk about contests. It's just really something, You have to go by the number, and people are walking around there, dancers. I'm walking around there. I'm not ashamed to say, to get out there and dance, But the thing is, I get lonely sometimes, I still sweat every Tuesday night. And my uncle used to say, never let go of the traditional ways, the language, and everything. Be yourself, be honest. So today I went down there last night and I got sad, But they said you have to go beyond, nature, you just go. You lose a friend, you make another friend, you know. You go to the powwow and somebody come up. Who are you? Then you tell them, person, your friends, you know. That's what it is about, you know. And to me, you know, sitting here, coming to the quarterly, I try to make it all the time. Listen to the drums, singing, people, you know, looking at you guys. The thing we had next year will be my 20th year working at Ngosum if I make it. And I'm already ordering stuff for myself, you know, what I want for 20 years, you know. So I hope I make it. I go beyond that. When we lost Tony Inkashula, just like I said, he was my first cousin. His mom and my mom, Pete Beaverhead, they're brother and sisters, you know. That's how close we were. And it was kind of sad to lose him, you know. I don't know where we stand there, you know. Who are we going to get to take his place? Nobody can take his place. His steps, you know, that we could get somebody in there, you know, for the elders. And I said before, elders up here, Pete Beaverhead, Woodcocks, Inkashulas, and whoever, they all talk Indian. Had a tape recorder. It dropped down here, you know, with these other guys, you know. Language started going away. And now we drop down lower, you know. We only got 7 elders that's in there, you know. The thing I don't like about this place, they're always talking about Salish and Kootenays. They never put Ponderay, you know, Ponderay. And my grandfather, Alexander Beaverhead, Pete Beaverhead, and all those elders, there was a lot of Pondereys here, you know, a bunch of them, thousands of them. And last night I met Francis Cluya and J.R. Bluff. We are the real Pondereys from West Washington. We always argue about that. I say, no, you're the lower one. We are the upper ones. See, like that, we just joked around, you know. Maybe they meant it, but I was joking around. And things like that, you know, my grandfather, Pete Beaverhead, and all those guys, they like to joke around in Indian, joke around. One of the happinesses is your laughter, you know. You laugh around. Crying is another way. So anyway, today, you know, it's sad, but I'm happy, you know. Happiness, you know. We're going to get ready tomorrow. I talked to the match down there running it, and they're going to start tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Grand entry, you know. And I'm happy about that, you know. I'm happy people are coming, and the thing that really makes me happy when you're going into the grounds, there's cops there, you know. There are policemen there. They think they have to check you over, they'll check you over, you know. That's another difference, you know. That's good, you know. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was in Kusum. You know, when they're going to fix a fence and fix a sidewalk. They got there 20 years there at Kusum. That's really something, you know. Really something, you know. the language, talking Indian. Today we're still at it, start to spread out, And I see kids at the powwow last night. I squawk Stephen. It makes me feel good, Man, they give me hugs, That's what it's about, People talking Indian. So anyway, today I'm going back to that pretty quick. Back to our league, get ready, get my air condition on, lay in my RV. A long time ago, I'd lay there in the shade, sweating, in the teepee. Oh man, people from New York. I hope there's no New York people here. They come, hey, where's the Indians? I said, hey, I'm an Indian. He said, where's your teepee? I said, oh, we got a bunch of mission there. Only hippies and Germans got their teepees there. That's the way it is, That's the way it is, I ate a fried bread yesterday, boy. It's just so nice, Nice to get you all greasied up. No wonder they call us Indians greasy Indians. The thing is, you could joke around, joke around with people, I'm elder, so I could say anything, But that's the way I like it, It's just my words, And I hope I learned a lot from the elders, Like the old ways, The old ways, How I went through, And sometimes I sit there and I think, maybe this was just a dream, Maybe it was a dream, Maybe something, And I think back where I seen the real medicine people, the Blue Jay people, and all that, I saw it, I was old enough, to see it. A lot of people didn't see it, But today I'm happy I went through that. My elders, we just talk nothing but Indian, So to close, I am Ponderay, Who gave us that name? The Frenchman gave us that name. My grandfather told me the Frenchman gave me that name. Means the earrings, When they come to here, people were wearing big earrings. What are we going to call those Indians? Ponderay. So I carry that on, Ponderay, So anyway, today I'm just happy to be here, I want happiness. I want to go dancing, sweating, and be happy, And I thank you, I thank you, all of you, supporting Kusum, or any other place, Mission, Elmo, support those people, They're trying, that's history. We made history at Kusum. So help them out. Them special. I didn't mean to talk for 2 minutes, but Tom was already going. I don't know what, itching or.
Lam Stephen. Good words. And the air conditioner is on down there. It's raining in Arlie right now. We have any other elder wants to come up and speak? Ronnie? Yes, quick, Ronnie.
Yes, quick to you. I'm not an elder, I'm just an older person, so.
Okay, so you can't use that excuse when you say something to Vi, and like you were just saying, right? Okay.
Well, I just wanted to thank you guys for the work that you're doing. But there is a few issues I'd like to do, and they're all land issues that I have. You know, and the first one is that state property. We got to work hard to get all that state property back. But the main thing is we got to start buying property here with everything that's happening with the floods, the fires. Everybody's starting to move in here and they're buying all this land that we should have. We got to get this and get it back so we keep control of this area. You know, it's just kind of letting, I know you've done a job with the Lake County, but hopefully it'll work out. You know, but those land issues are the ones that we gotta. There's a dump issue down there that they're stopping tribal members from going on tribal property and not letting them dump. Everybody should be eligible to dump as long as they're on a reservation, whether it be Missoula County, Charlotte, anywhere, Sanders County. All tribal members should be able to dump in any of those dumps, especially the one at Ravalli, because that's tribal land. You know, and they're trying to stop people from doing that. And I heard the old boy don't care for tribal member, but that's beside the point, you know. They were talking about, well, if they get threats, they'll close it down. Well, let them close it down. They'll find a new place to put it, you know. But I just have a problem with somebody stopping somebody from using their property. They can stop us to using ours, theirs. We can stop them from using ours. So it's just, we just got to get control again. They're starting to get an influx of people coming in. So not that I don't like people, but it's kind of one of those things I'd like to have control of what we do have, you know. And I appreciate all the work you guys are doing. And if you need any support, we're always here, or I can find somebody to support you. So you guys have a good one. Make sure you go to the powwow. Like Steven said, enjoy it, have fun, then get back to work. Okay. Lem lems.
Lem lems, Ron. Lem lems. Any other elders? Iris, come on up. Good morning.
I'm back
That's good.
and good morning, and I would like to talk about 69D again.
Turn your mic on. There you go.
Oh, thank you. I would like to just bring up 69D again, and Chairman, I'd like to talk about, I would like you to repeat what you told me about like if somebody is filing a grievance against, well, this goes off
Sure.
at 69D, but could you repeat what you told me
Yeah.
about filing the grievance? You can't come to the council anymore. You have to go to the chain of command.
Well, the ordinance is always, previous ordinances have always been that you go through the process of the chain of command.
Right.
And that hasn't changed anything. The one thing that I wanted to, in regards to the one issue that we had that you know very well, is simply trying to improve how we communicate to an individual when they are terminated, so that they have their due process. So we're not relying on simply the mail or certified mail, that we can maybe modify the ordinance to make sure there's a one-on-one face. There's actually a communication. So a person knows that they can then start, if they wish to proceed through a grievance process, they'd be able to do that. And that's the main thing that I was looking for in a potential revision of the new ordinance that we have. The other one would be tightening up the protocols for maybe even more redundancy on making sure we're following the established procedures when we hire non-members or descendants or members from other tribes. When there's any of that going on, we make sure that we double down on the established procedures that are there to make sure that they're being followed. So I think there's some edits that we could do, or revisions that we could look at. But that's the basis of what we talked about the other day.
Yes, I talked to Patty Hebler, And she did say that the policies are being worked on. And, but my concerns again, like they were on last week, is non-members from other tribes getting hired from instead of our own people. And I still firmly believe, and I'll always believe that, not just for my son, that somebody was hired because John was not hired for a position he was already doing under emergency hire, I believe, but then they hired a non-member because of him. And they chose him. And John talked to you guys about some of the people that were in the interview told John he won the interview. He got the interview. He won the job in the interview. But the lady that,
Yeah, Iris, we can't really discuss that kind of stuff here. I mean, that's, what we can do is just tighten up policies. And again, that type of information is not, one that we would want to address in this particular situation, what we're in right now, as far as the meeting. That's more of a internal discussion point.
okay,
So, but what we can do is look at policy so we can tighten it up and tighten up the operations of how it happens.
Okay.
So,
all right, well, what I want to say is the 69D says tribal members, descendants, then non-members. So that really needs to be looked at. You say that you can't come to the council anymore. You have to go, we can't come to the council to,
the ordinance was modified to allow that hiring discretion, that authority at the department head level, where previously anybody that wasn't an enrolled member, basically for a permanent hire, came before tribal council to be hired. So that's been delegated down. The recipe for it hasn't changed at all. Just that decision-making authority moved below the tribal council, where most organizations it would normally lie.
okay, well, I'll say, and is this all gonna be in the minutes? That some of these managers are getting it to their heads, and they're just going over and hiring whoever they want. Might be a friend, might be a relative, but they're not hiring the person that's qualified for the position. And that needs to really be looked at by the council, and that needs to be looked at.
That's, Iris, that's what I mean by, looking at the policy and making redundancies so that we make sure that that is being followed. So that's how we can address the policy. We can address the issues that you're bringing forward, or any allegations like that from any of the members. We can try to troubleshoot it that way and fix it that way.
Okay, and then another thing I was kind of concerned about is you said that the grievance process goes to the person, if they're fired from a position, they have to go through a grievance procedure, like to the chain of command. The chain of command is the person that is fired them, isn't that? So,
Iris, I'll briefly ask Rick Enius to come up and talk about the grievance procedures in our ordinance. But again, we don't want to spend too much time. We can spend more time one-on-one about it all, but just for information for the membership, we can explain what that is.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And Ms. Kaya. The grievance process, and so chain of commands, maybe not exactly the right term when we're talking about grievances, because 69D recognizes that a lot of times grievances would be filed against your supervisor. So grieving to the person who you're grieving against is not part of the process, there's a dedicated personnel staff who is the one who receives the grievances. So outside of the normal chain of command for most departments, it goes to the personnel department, and there are in 6090 items that can and items that can't be grieved. If an employee files a grievance and it's denied, there are additional steps that they can take. And the coming to council is sort of the ultimate step. Council in this practice acts as the sort of final decision maker after the rest of the process has been followed. So yeah, not to get into the specifics, but in any of these cases, the grievance would be not required to go to the direct supervisor or necessarily even to the supervisor above them. It goes to personnel. And then if there's any reconciliation needed, that would go back down to the appropriate level of the organization. So maybe the department head, maybe the department head supervisor would get involved if there's anything found to be out of bounds or out of policy.
So there is a place, if somebody who didn't want to, didn't agree with, they can go have somewhere else to go before. Is that what you're saying? I don't understand.
Yes,
Well,
the 60,
somebody goes to that person that fires them, because that's the chain of command, and then they don't agree with that, they can come to council?
if somebody wishes to file a grievance, their first step, according to 6090, is the personnel department staff member who is assigned to review grievances. And if the grievable act is determined to be grievable,
Okay.
and that's laid out in the ordinance as well, some things can't be grieved. But if it's determined to be grievable, then the solution to that would be that's not laid out specifically, but after going to the personnel office, then there's another level of review, and ultimately council is the final level of review there in that process.
Okay, well, all right, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about again. I just want it brought up, like I said,
Yeah,
I want this brought up because I am kind of getting discouraged about, I hear a lot of people say that they're not getting hired for these positions. And I really firmly believe, and I'll talk to all of you right now, since everybody's here, we all need to look after our tribal members first for everything. We need to look after the tribal members. This is our tribe, nobody else's. It's our tribe. And you guys need to work, you guys need to remember you work for us. And you need to help us. And we need a lot of help right now. There's a lot of people getting fired from their jobs. I'm not sure why, but I see a lot of people talking about they got fired for no reason. They get discouraged. They have bills to pay. And as a tribe, we need to all share the wealth here. You know, we have a lot of opportunities for our people, and it's our people and it's our reservation. So that's all I wanted to say.
thank you, Iris. You have a commitment from us to revisit the ordinance and make revisions, and we'll do it as quickly as possible. The other thing that we have a commitment to do is to provide supervisory training to our entire workforce. and other training, worksite harassment, bullying, all kinds of different things, safety in workplace. So it's initiatives that Rick's staff is going to be working on,
Oh,
you know, as
good.
soon as possible. So
Yeah,
a lot of
'cause-
the things that we're talking about are very preventable. It's just,
Yes, yes, it is. I
it
mean,
is, it is. So thank you, Iris.
you're right about the bullying, you know, it's kind of, yeah, well, I won't go there, but
Yeah.
anyway, thank you.
Thank
And
Thank
you are,
you.
you guys do a good job. Have a
thank you. Any more elders like to speak? If not, we'll move into just a couple of housekeeping things before council can give updates. Just want to remind council that we've been trying to put together a Flathead Irrigation Indian Project staff meeting with Mission District, and that is now tentative date is still on for the July 13th, the morning of July 13th, probably at the previous location that was identified in the other cancellations, but we don't know that for sure. And it would be early in the morning, so we don't have the time yet either. That'll be 9 at the Red Lion. The other item is that we have a request, and I would like to take action on it this morning from Rosemary Kayai. And it's an important request. I think it's a really good request as far as me personally. She's going to put together a celebration of the Hellgate Treaty event on July 14th at the Elmo Community Center from 9 to 5. And she was asking for a change of duty station with supervisor's approval for staff members to be able to attend or help do it. So I would appreciate a motion to approve that. Motion by Jennifer, second by Mike. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Show of hands. Unanimous. Yep, go ahead, Len.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. I just also wanted to bring up another issue. Powwow Chairman Mike Kenmill has also has a request for us. He would like to see a change of duty for tribal employees to come up and work at the Elmo Powwow ground as we did for the Arley Powwow here a few weeks back. He would also need that request probably the week before the Elmo Powwow. So I would make that motion that we grant a change of duty station for the tribal employees to work at the Elmo Powwow grounds with supervisor approval.
Okay, motion by Len to grant change of duty station with supervisor approval to work at the Standing Arrow Powwow grounds a week before, up to a week before the powwow. Seconded by Jimmy. Any further discussion? All those in favor, show of hands. Unanimous.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Len. So now we'll move into council brief updates, and I'll start once again with Carol, if you wouldn't mind, Carol.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair and Council. I would like to start out by appreciate the drum and their song this morning, and then all the members and the guests who came today. And certainly I pray for the Arley celebration and as it carries on, and then the Standing Arrow celebration coming up. This quarter, I've been working on the Dixon cleanup along with Anita and Martin, and been told that we cut down a few too many trees down there, but there's no way to put them back, so we'll have to live with that. We continue to work on the basketball court and the little pavilion we're going to put down there with the meat rack. That's still coming in. We're working on trying to get a contract for the lawnmowers to keep the grass down and the weeds and all of that. And then I believe Chairman McDonald is still working on the walking path and Martin's working on the golf course. It's kind of been put by the wayside with all the other stuff that we're dealing with, but certainly Dixon is still on the forefront and we want to get that done before we move on to other communities. And at the celebration this year, I'm going to be talking to people in their communities about whether they would think that a skate park in their community that don't have one would be something that they would want to consider. And We're also going to bring that up at the district meeting and have posters and stuff from a company in Oregon that does skate park. So I think it's something that'll it gives kids an opportunity to do something else besides sit in their homes and play on video games. And we're also looking at upgrading the basketball courts in communities and just things like that, other things that kids can do. And I talked to the father down in Mission, and he did say that skate park in Mission gets a lot of use. And he said it's positive use. Of course, there's a few things that go on that he would not like to see, but you know, it's with everything that in this day and age that goes on. Next thing I did is met with the Ronan City Council and Mayor. One of the things we talked about is a dog ordinance, and I committed to that city council and to this council is to move forward on a dog ordinance. But in the meantime, the tribal council found out that the Mission Valley Animal Shelter is going, not belly up, they're transitioning and they don't have money and they don't have space. And so we just had a meeting last week with all of the entities on the reservation. The only two that were, well, the only one that didn't show up was SKC, and the president did call me and said she intended to come, but her flight was delayed and had a board meeting, so she couldn't make it. But I mean, it sounds like people are serious. I'm really glad Chairman McDonald was there because he had asked us to get together in a smaller committee and do a, what was it called, Tom?
Cooperative agreement.
Cooperative agreement, so we can all come together to figure this out. And I believe that we really need to make sure that animal shelter is standing, because if it's not, we're gonna have we already have a lot of dog issues, but we need to make sure the spay and neuter clinics are all taken care of, and housing dogs, and they're a no-kill shelter, so, which I was glad to hear, because the thought of killing a dog is not good. I also still continue to serve on the Boys and Girls Club. We're having some staff shortages throughout the reservation. Well, I think every place in the United States, I was reading a national magazine where the tribes in the Northwest are having some shortages in employment. I mean, everybody's seeing that, so it's not just here. And so when Iris talks about hiring tribal members, it's a serious thing. I also attended the Montana Tribal Leaders Council Health Subcommittee. I'm a member of that. And then I attended the Flathead Infrastructure meeting, which we're just getting going on that. I'm just kind of getting up to speed on that stuff. I currently still serve as a volunteer for the breadbasket. And I am really concerned when the COVID was going on and all the money that we got, you know, I knew that the breadbasket had a lot of money in its coffers. But now when I volunteer there, I don't even hardly see staples, you know, like bread, eggs, milk. And I really feel our food sovereignty program, which I need, and I see Jordan back there, and I need to definitely get involved in that, because, you know, I see people struggling, really, really struggling. And so we need to get that up and going. And I appreciate Martin always attending as many meetings as he can. And I understand he's been attending that. So thank you. And I will be getting with you, Jordan, and your crew. And then I attended the National American Indian Housing Council and Ameren meeting in Seattle, and good meeting. But I did find out some devastating information about my son, and so I came home early, and it was, yeah. And I attended the Kusim powwow, which is always a real celebration, graduation. It's always a real positive and feeling when you go to those things and see those little kids speaking and graduating. We went to the Kootenai Tribe of Idaho and met with federal agencies, State Department, and Canadian counterparts, the Kootenays up there, and talked about the selenium that's coming down from the elk mine in Canada, and that's a huge issue. And then I've also been working on getting information on they have tiny homes in the Bakken that they they sell those little homes. And I'm really worried about this winter when we don't, we're gonna have a shortage of places to rent, and there's people living in their cars, and we can't rent hotels because of some things that have gone on. And so I'm really working on trying to help the homeless committee, you know, work on getting something ready for this winter, because it's already bad. I mean, spent last winter seeing people live in their car with their kids, and it's awful. And then you talk about the food and all of that. It's just something we need to really work on. And so I'm hoping that, you know, we can look at least kicking horse and getting something set up out there. And then I went to a meeting at the Yellow Bay Biological Station, and we talked about the AIS, aquatic invasive species. Well, I had my second experience last night. Was coming back from a meeting at the university, and a vehicle just blew by with its canoe on the top. So I followed it, called all the law enforcement, got it stopped in Mission. The Mission cop come and showed up and got him turned around. I thought, well, cool. And so as I was following that boat back down, I said, well, I might as well go to the memorial, because, you know, it's going on and I can't get home to my little guy yet. So, and Tom was almost home. So I turned around, went to the memorial. And as I was coming back, again, I'm following a boat, and it blows by the station down there in Arlee. And I was just like, wow. And I got close enough and figured out this guy's from Illinois, either Illinois or California. And it blew by. And so I did the same thing I did with the other boat, started calling law enforcement. Well, of course, there's nobody available, but I got to say something about the station. The station was packed. I mean, busy with boats. It's not like they intentionally didn't see this. They were that busy. And you go on the highway and you see all the boats coming this way. It's just like scary. Scared the heck out of me. Anyway, I followed this boat all the way to Woods Bay. I made sure it went off the reservation. If I was going to stop, I was going to stop and talk to the guy and ask him if he could please get to a station and check it out. Because I got to tell you, you know, after going to the Yellow Bay Biological meeting on AIS, if those quagga mussels, tiger mussels get into our lake, there will be no longer any use. I mean, this is probably years down the road, but there will no longer be use of that lake, because those shells and those mussels are so devastating that it will just, you'll be able to look at the water, but basically, I don't know, it's pretty bad. Maybe I'm a little more hyped up right now and I'm making more of it, but if it gets into our hydroelectric facility, it can cause a lot of damage. And I've already talked to Brian about that, and he's talked to us about it, I should say. And then also there was an update about that at the AIS meeting. And then also I brought up at that meeting about the irrigation equipment. And if those mussels get into those smaller lakes up there, and those mussels get into the irrigation system and the irrigation equipment, wow, I think it could be devastating. So we were going to start doing some more state work on, and Western Montana work on that, because the discussion's not really there. I'm still involved at the Lake County Drug Court, and we've got a new judge, Judge Owens, and she seems to be getting up to speed, and everybody's excited about her coming on. And so continue to work with that. And then I already talked about that. And then we're also dealing with the land exchange. We were at the University of Montana yesterday talking about the state sections with BLM, the state, and all of the other federal agencies that require to be a part of the action due to what it says in the law. And then food sovereignty, already talked about that. I missed the river honoring. Wow, first time in a long time. Been really busy. And a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about comes down to the council having more time. I mean, people see like, oh, wow, council's not meeting today because this and that. Well, now the council is actually out doing a lot of stuff tribal councils should do, is being out on a state level, national level, and even county level, trying to make sure our positions are held. And then I also lastly want to apologize to Iris Kayai and her son. I was a little bit rude when you came in. I know John's been in a few times and maybe that's where it came from, but definitely I am committed to looking at the personnel ordinance. And I believe that I just got 2 other reports of situations where people felt they were not hired. And so definitely I am willing to take a look at that ordinance and see if we have to go back, or if there's something we can do to make sure we vet, that tribal members are vetted properly and given every opportunity, even if it requires a board to sit on those selections of a non-member. I'm not saying that non-members and other members of other tribes shouldn't work here, because there's really is a work shortage, but I think you're right. This is Salish, Kootenai, Pend Oreille memberships, land and property and reservation, and we need to do everything we can. So anyway, that's all I have, Mr. Chair, and thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Anita.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for letting me follow Carol. I thank the drum and the membership, Stephen, for his prayers, and the other elders who come in this morning, and it's always so good to hear from them. April started out with a bang. I probably tried to chase the hardest one I could chase, which was Carol. She's, I'll tell you, a pretty tenacious lady. She makes up her mind, and she is definitely out there pushing to get her commitments done. So I appreciate everything Carol did with the Dixon Agency. We had a few meetings down there with the roads, and we've had the diabetes program using the building. We've also had a satellite office for the voting coming up this fall. And we got down and got the place cleaned up. As Carol said, not everybody was really impressed with all the trees, but got all the departments did a bang up job in the schools, Two Eagle and Dixon school kids. I appreciate Martin and Carol's dedication and the councils for wanting to go to each community and do the same. As most of you know, in that went through, that was April, and then into May, I did get pretty sick. I have been sick and just got back into council here in the last 3 weeks. So I appreciate the rest of the council and their meetings that they're attending and keeping us at the table. And I appreciate the prayers and the patience from the membership on my behalf. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Anita. Our prayers are with you, of course. Mike.
I want to thank my colleagues here on the council. I truly appreciate working with you. Thank you to the drum. That's always very heartwarming to hear the drum as we start. And thank you, Stephen, for your words. And thank you, Ron. We're definitely looking at the issues you're talking about. And thank you, Iris. It's important that we focus on us. I truly support that every way I can. And it's always interesting following Carol and Anita, because they cover most of the issues that have been covered in the year. And I got to say, it's been an interesting quarter. I got to see a sturgeon for the first time in the Bonner's Ferry trip, and they're doing some really, really interesting things for burbot and sturgeon there. And the meeting was a good meeting about selenium. And the problem we're having is getting Canada to come on board. And so that was a good trip. We also visited property that we own in Swan Valley. And that was an interesting trip to see the headwaters of where some of the bull trout spawn. And we received a stewardship award for that property in conjunction with what's the Swan Valley Connections, I believe is the name of the organization. So That was truly an interesting trip. I'm glad Anita mentioned the satellite voting registration offices that we implemented, and they will be in place getting ready for the general election. So I enlist your help in trying to make sure people get registered, and we have those satellite locations now and trying to make it convenient to do so. The satellite in Hot Springs is in the Indian Senior Center. And so I would hope that you can get people out there to vote. It's interesting and time with the politics that's happening today. And so one other thing, I do want to congratulate all of our graduates this year. We had graduation season this quarter, and we have high school graduates and college graduates and junior high graduates. Congratulations to all those folks. Beyond that, it was a pleasure to actually meet some of my heroes from the NBA when they came to help support our opening of a sports bar.
Sure, you just wanted to see people taller than you, right?
Yeah, that's true too. And then I'll remind folks that now that our centers are in operation again, the district meeting in Hot Springs is every fourth Friday, starting about 5 o'clock. And so we're back at it there, and you can always contact me at 880-5524. Everyone be safe over the 4th, and thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Jennifer, can I ask you to go next?
All right, I guess I'm up. Yeah, it's good to see all of you here. I'm glad we're able to meet in person again, and I'm still getting used to seeing big crowds of people. I feel a little bit nervous today, even though I know most of you. First of all, I just wanted to say congratulations to the tribal members who graduated from college this year. That's a huge accomplishment. And I think that every opportunity I have to celebrate the accomplishments of a tribal member, I'm going to do that. I'm really proud when Indians do well. I hand wrote a note of congratulations to every tribal member who graduated from college this year. And I plan on doing that every year that I'm in tribal council, because I think it's important to celebrate each other. And every time any one of us does something good, it makes the whole group stronger. And I firmly believe that everybody has something good and important to contribute to the tribe, whether it's through their degree or something that they know or who they are, or their ability to speak out on issues that they care about. Everybody has something that can make us stronger as a people. And I think we should always celebrate that. And, we had some big accomplishments these last few months. Secretary Deb Haaland from the Secretary of Interior and the U.S. Secretary of Education both visited the reservation within about a month. And so I think that as a tribe, we are definitely on the national map. We are on the map, and I'm really proud of us, and I'm really proud of the caliber of people that we have working for the tribes and the amazing things that we do as a tribe, as a nation. And I really feel hopeful about the trip that we had to Bonners Ferry to work in conjunction with the other Kootenai tribes of Idaho and Montana to help protect the habitat in the Kootenai River. And the habitat also includes us as human beings being potentially affected by pollution in the water. And a tribal member, Julie Kajun, came in and did a presentation about some of the conservation work that she's doing. And I know that our tribe is a leader in conservation, having a tribal wilderness area that will never be developed in order to protect the habitat. And I found out that 80% of the world's biodiversity is protected by Indigenous people in the world. So the work that we do as stewards of the land is really important, and I'm really proud of our tribe's part in that, protecting the biodiversity of habitat in the world. And I will be setting up a time for a district meeting sometime in the next few months. And my district meeting will be in the morning and it'll be on a Friday and I'll be providing breakfast. And I won't have an agenda at my district meeting. It'll be my first district meeting. Because I want tribal members to have a chance to talk about the things that they want to talk about. And I'll probably invite a few department heads so we can just listen and take that information back and do something about it. I don't want my district meeting to be like a presentation. I want it to be a conversation with tribal members and a chance for tribal members to be heard. And the reason I'll be having it on a Friday morning instead of an evening is so people who have kids can go. Because I remember when I had kids, it was really hard for me to do things in the evening after work. So Friday morning, actually the kids are out for summer, but anyway, it's just hard to do things in the evening when you have kids. That always was for me. And I think that's it. I'll be at the powwow. I saw my name on the program. I didn't know I was on the program to do a welcoming. But Arlie's my hometown. That's where my family lives. It's where I grew up. So I'll be happy to do that and very honored to do that. And I'm really grateful to see all of you here. And I wish you a great and happy, safe, not Thanksgiving, 4th of July. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Jimmy, can I ask you to go next?
Good morning, everyone. And thank you for the song, the honor song, drum group. It's beautiful to hear that. You know, I was thinking about what I was gonna say, but I was gonna tell you I'm really wore out. I was trying to help Carol, couldn't keep up with her. But Carol does an awesome job, and I'd like to catch up with some of the things that some things that she does. It's really interesting for tribal people. The thing, I've been to all the meetings these people have mentioned here before, participated in all those. I've taken the maintenance through in Cusum, and also the community center in Arley to see what their issues are and see if we can help them with them. Just participating in everything that this council does, and it's a real fulfilling job, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Can I ask, Bing, would you mind going next? And I'll hit the officers. I'm shaking it up today.
That's correct, Specia. I want to thank everybody for being here this morning. And hopefully everybody is ready for a big celebration down in Arley. A lot of work's been put into that to get ready for this celebration. I know my sisters and brothers and nieces and nephews and who all has done a lot of work. And then still work to be done down there at the grounds that hasn't been done yet. But hopefully we get it all taken care of before next year. But most, I wanna, before I get started, I wanna maybe bring Brian Lipscomb up, because we just returned from a trip from Norfolk, Virginia. That was commissioned, that was USS Montana was commissioned down there. And Brian arranged a trip for us. And along with that trip, we took the drum group, the brothers, Trahan brothers, and along with their uncle Ron down there to sing at the honor that boat, or honor that sub. And it was really something to see. A lot of them people down there never heard a drum before, never heard a song sung before by the drum group. And it was, like we had people come up to us after the performance was over, stating that they actually cried when that song was being sung. Men and women both did that, and it was really something to for them to come up and thank the group for performing down there. And I was really honored by the group. They asked me to drum with them down there too, and I drummed with them, and that's the first time I was asked, to drum with a group like that. For in my younger days, I used to, but anymore I don't. But I was asked to do it with them, and I was really, really honored to do it with them. And I felt, that was really a blessing for me. But along with what Carol and everybody else talked about today, I was on most of these trips too, except for, with the ITBC, IBMP meetings with Bison that I attended. Also, Tribal Timber Council symposium that was held up in Fairbanks, Alaska. I went up to that. There's a lot of funding that they offered, that they have for suppression and along with other funding that is available for them to put in for. But it was a big conference up there, and first conference we've had since the epidemic come along and kind of put a halt to everything. But it was really a good conference up there. Tom and I attended a couple of IBMP meetings in the spring, and Bison management meeting down in Helena. Was down there here a couple weeks ago, attended that. But we've been pretty busy, like everybody else said. We've been real busy, with other things other than having a council meeting. The trip down to Bonner's Ferry, like everybody stated, was really interesting down there to be there and see what they do with the rivers and what they do with they call them buggers. Yeah, the hatcheries down there. But it was quite a little deal down there that they was showing us, and they got quite a program going for their sturgeons down there that they have. But and then the mining issue in Canada, it's going to be a long, dragged out process, I believe, with Canada, Canadian government, and they're the ones that need to be at the table that can get there, I guess. But it's going to be a long process. But it's, I got some things wrote down here. The Swan Valley trip up in the bull trout was up there. We went to look at the property up there. It was a good trip. The acreage that we have up there and the work that they're doing on that parcel up there. There's a lot of blowdown in that parcel that's being cleaned up, and it was just a good trip up there to see that. And a meeting afterwards with them, and that was held. A lot of information was passed by the tribe and the Forest Service up there. But it was a really good meeting. Yesterday at Missoula, like they stated, we had a meeting with the state on the land issue, Ron, and it was a good point that you brought up about the state. And we're going to have some future meetings down the road here too, along with it. So it's going to be a process too to get this completed. The Bison Range celebration was something else. Secretary Holland was there, and it was a heck of a celebration that they put on down there. The staff down there really did a real good job in putting on, setting up the celebration that was had down there. It was really a good deal for us to have them do that, and appreciate that. Mike brought up the voting districts here that we had, and up in Revero, we got a place to vote up there at the casino. They closed the one up in Evero up there, and then they, so we had to get another voting place to have the people go vote. And then after they voted up there, there'll be their voting office now from every time when there's elections come up. But I'm glad that gaming let us have that area up there and there for the people to go vote. At least they don't have to go to dump their ballots off in Missoula or anywhere. They can go up there and vote now. But it was a kind of a long drawn out process for us to do it, but we finally got it passed and everything was okay. What they said is okay for us to do that. But other than that, getting ready for the powwow, like I stated, you know, and hopefully it turns out real well, you know, without not having a powwow for the last 3 years, you know. But a lot of people already camped down there, and I guess they're ready to go. So it starts tonight. Steven said it started tomorrow, but some dancing starts tonight at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and they have, I believe it's royalties and stuff coming up this afternoon down there. So it'll be kicked off. Last night they started a stick game and let that go all night long after the stick game that they held for articles and stuff. So it was a good deal, you know. And then last night at the memorial, I sat there and listened to the names that were called out, and it really hurt to hear a lot of them names that I were close to, and it brought back a lot of memories of a lot of them people that are not here anymore with us, and you're here one day and gone the next. And I was telling my wife that last night. I said, you know, it's really something here that these guys are gone. They're gone now, you know, and you don't know from one day to the next if you're going to be here, if your name's going to be on the next year, you know. And with this COVID, had a lot to deal with our people passing, along with some other issues that took our people. You know, it's hard to see that and hear that they're gone and they're not here anymore. And I prayed for all them people that were out there yesterday in that ceremony, that memorial march. But I want to thank you all for being here, and hopefully everybody has a happy 4th of July and have a good powwow up there. Thank you.
Thank you, Bing. Brian, I'll give you 1 minute.
I'll make it quick, Mr. Chairman. I'll get with you, Bernie, and we'll get a article in the Charcusta about the tribe's participation and the impact. It was quite impressive. With the drum at the reception, and then the next day at the commissioning itself, Gene's presentation of the pipe and the blessing of the boat. There wasn't a dignitary there that didn't mention the tribal participation explicitly and thank us for it. And it's interesting as I reflect on the trip, how the Navy is so influenced by England. We stole our first boat from England. That's how the Navy got started. And the traditions and their commissionings and everything are really kind of rooted in that colonial perspective. And for us to bring a tribal perspective into it, I think really speaks volumes now, as that boat will be out there defending and trying to keep us and our homeland safe. So very, very impressive. all the folks that we interacted with were incredibly grateful and appreciative. And so just wanted to extend my gratitude to Tribal Council for supporting this activity. I think it was a good thing for us to be there as tribal people, not only from here, but from across the state of Montana. So there's an ongoing effort to keep that relationship alive between the people of Montana on that boat. So it'll continue to happen through the commissioning committee. Got you all a program. Thanks for that. I got you a fresh bunch of masks because I picked up COVID on the way back. Luckily, I was able to get treatment right away on Sunday morning. So as of yesterday, all clear, back in the saddle. But yeah, precautions. So you guys have a great 4th of July. Thank you all, and hello to all the tribal members.
Thank you, Brian. Ellie?
Thank you, Chairman McDonald and council peers. Thank you all for being here today and for the song and prayer this morning. It's so nice to start our day in such a beautiful way. Today feels really good. My heart feels so much joy that we're beginning our powwow celebrations. The last 2 years have been so difficult not having them. It's felt so incomplete. But here we are, ready to start those celebrations, and I hope you all have an amazing time with your friends and family at both celebrations. I'm going to be very brief today, but I would like to begin with a thanks to each of my council peers for a great last quarter. I am so blessed to know each of you, and I'm honored to work with all of you. Additionally, I would like to thank our tribal employees. I am constantly reminded what amazing people we have working for our organization. We have so many meetings, we participate in so many meetings, and we have the opportunity to see our employees on the front lines working in their areas of expertise. And I have to say that I'm just always in awe about the level of intelligence and the professionalism that they show. And I'm just so proud of them and that they represent CSKT. And we couldn't do it without them. So to all of you who love what you do, thank you, it shows. And I hope you feel appreciated and valued. As a report for some of my activities outside of council meetings this last quarter, I provided presentations on missing and murdered Indigenous persons in CSKT's Tribal Community Response Plan at the National Missing and Unidentified Persons Conference and for the annual Department of Interior, Department of Justice Law Enforcement Summit. I was also a speaker at the Montana Native Women's Coalition MMIP March in Billings and continue to serve on the State Missing Indigenous Persons Task Force. I continue to serve on the Lake County 911 Board and the SCAHA, the Salish County Housing Authority Board. And additionally, I attended the animal ordinance meeting that Carol spoke about and have committed to serve on the committee established to discuss a reservation-wide ordinance and cooperative agreement between all of those agencies affected. I worked at the Dixon cleanup event the day it was held, and am looking forward to planning a similar event in St. Ignatius. In addition to some of the trips that Councilman Dolson mentioned to see the sturgeon, and just pretty cool, I was also grateful to be able to participate in the Bison Range celebration. It was an amazing event, and I applaud the staff who worked so hard to make it a successful event. In closing, I would just like to acknowledge the families who have lost loved ones these last few months. I pray for all of you struggling to find the strength and peace in this most difficult time. And I would just caution all of us just to remember that tomorrows are not promised. Hug your loved ones, be grateful for every day that you are given, make memories, laugh more, and always be quick to forgive. So with that, I will conclude my report and thank you for the opportunity to serve you.
Thank you, Ellie. I'm going to deviate right now because of the respect to our elder, and we're honoring one of our honorees this morning. I'll hold off for Martin and Len and myself. And we'll go to what we really want to do, and that's what I always dedicate my time to, is honoring our employees, our people of our tribes. They're so much important, and there's so many outstanding things out there. So at this time, what I'd like to do is ask Ellie to recognize the recent retirees that are tribal employees, long-term employees. And you know, you just can't say attaboy, attagirl. It's just what a, you know, to work a long career for the tribes And to have that service to our membership and to our people and our place, it just can't be, it can't be overstated how important that is to us all and how much we appreciate that years of service. And so with that, we want to recognize recent retirees, ask them to come up, and then we have two special honorees we want to recognize also. So go ahead, Ellie.
Ruth Christ, Maintenance Coordinator, April 21st. Thomas Haynes, Fish and Game Officer 2, April 30th. Charlotte Hunter, Tribal Health Department, May 31st. Cheryl Matthias, Legal Secretary, February 11th. Charles Matt, Van Bus Driver, May 16th. Robert McCray, Fire Operations Specialist, March 20th. And Darwin Parker, Fish and Wildlife Officer 2, May 3rd.
Thank you, Ellie. And there was a elders conference that happened this spring, and I know we had members that went to it, and how important it is to recognize our elders, recognize our workers that provide care to them. And at this recent conference, the conference host asked from all the tribes that were participating, you know, who was your elder that was at the forefront? Who was your oldest elder that you're servicing? How important that was, and then who was your best caregiver and volunteer that helped the elders the most? And so our staff at DHRD recommended a couple individuals. Betty Shaw as our eldest living tribal member, and Sherry Claremont as one of our outstanding workers, and servicing many customers at the same time, providing excellent care to our elders. And so what we want to do is ask them to come up. We have a blanket and a gift, and then all the honorees that are just recent retirees, please come up. And we want to offer a blanket for all of you. So please come on up. So we have a couple of blankets. I don't know, somewhere. If I could ask Bing and Jimmy to award Betty, and Carol and Martin to award Sherry. And then we'll do council members, just grab a blanket for the staff that are here. And I have medallions for staff.
All right, Tom. Good deal.
So we have Tommy Haynes here in person, has a long distinguished career with the Fish and Game Program. Of course, Betty Shaw, who also had a long career with the tribes. She retired at Mission Valley Power. And Sherry's worked in various capacities for the tribes over the years, but she's still currently employed. So we'd like to do is offer a honor song from the drum for our distinguished honorees. They're here today, those that couldn't make it today, but for Betty, Sherry, and Tommy, we would offer this honor song for you. Thank you, Drum. And thank you, Sherry, for your recent recognition as Elder Services Care Provider, a VIP at a regional conference, and Nancy Shaw for the eldest member is getting service. Betty, excuse me. Thank you, Tommy, and all the other retirees. We want to wish you the best. I'm sorry, Nancy, you're still working for me. With that, we'll continue on with our council updates, and we're at Martin. Unless there's any other council members that want to say anything about Betty or Sherry or anybody, I'll offer that. Go ahead, Martin, whenever you want to, whenever you feel comfortable.
Thank you, everyone. Happy to be here today. It's an honor to be here with all the honorees and listening to all those names. I worked with some of them, and it was always a pleasure to work with these people. Carol took everything that I said, and she actually said a lot of things that I do, so I'm going to leave those ones alone. I got an opportunity to travel to Alaska to do the NCAI, National Congress of American Indians. I'm just going to go. Did a presentation there on our land issues. This is getting even better now. No one's here. I don't even have to be nervous. It's like, thanks, Tom. So that was actually really eye-opening. The climate change issue, I think, is one of the things that Native people really need to get more active in. It's kind of shocking to have people give firsthand information or accounts of what's going on in our Arctic Circle, and especially our relatives in Alaska, our First Nations people. So definitely, some of the other things that we did with Bonner's Ferry, that's another kind of issue that we're tackling to work with our relatives over in Idaho and Canada. The Bison Range celebration that we put on, there's a lot of people that did a ton of work. The core group that I worked with, Shane Morjo, I want to thank him, Steph Gillen, Patricia Hibbler, Whisper, Means, Anton Paul. I'm going to start the long list and just name everybody. Gwen Langford especially, she had put on a large event like this before and came in and did a great job. And especially SKC IT, they stepped in and did a lot of work over there, kind of behind the scenes that no one saw. And Carol was on that committee as well. I guess kind of not going back, going forward, we have a celebration of our treaty at Council Groves on July 16th. That's the day that the Hellgate Treaty was signed in Missoula. Council Groves is kind of the west Missoula down Mullen Road. That'll be on the 16th. Three chiefs, Senator Marie Trojan, and staff are putting that on, and I will be assisting with that. Another event in Missoula, October 10th, will be the Bear Tracks Bridge renaming, or not even renaming, just naming, because that bridge was never actually named. So it actually made our renaming of it a little bit easier. I've been working with Missoula County, City of Missoula, Thompson Smith from the Culture Committee, Shane Morjo, getting that event planned. We are planning on doing a kind of a ribbon cutting with MDT, an event on the bridge. We haven't clarified all of those details yet, but we will be shutting down Higgins Bridge. And if you go into Missoula this week, there's actually banners on both sides of Higgins, or it's called Bear Tracks Bridge, I'm sorry, signifying both the Salish name and the English translation of Bear Tracks. And if you don't know who he is, his descendants are the Vanderburgs, and a lot of other tribal people. And so really was instrumental with the Bitterroot Salish when they were removed from the Bitterroot. So that is also Indigenous People Day. So it's not necessarily a mourning, it's more of a celebration of kind of how far we've come. We'll be doing a powwow down at Karis Park that day. So any volunteers that want to come and help put on a powwow, that'd be great. And then just going forward, you know, Sherry is my dad's care provider. I think that our elders are undervalued resource. I feel like we need to do more. My dad just recently had an issue that you know, kind of a scare. Thankfully, we had kind of been pushing to do things proactively, like a walk-in shower, like a ramp. And when this issue happened, he broke his hip, had to get a new one. It was a lot easier transitioning him in back home because those were already in place. And so if you have elderly people in your life, work with the elders program, you know, be proactive, get those things in the house. The med alerts, you know, those are literally lifesavers. So, you know, our elders are very important. That goes to show today with Miss Shaw and Miss Claremont, and I appreciate the honoring today of them. And then just making sure that, you know, with those things, we need to remember our cultures and who we are, and that's part of it, is taking care of our elders and taking care of our people. And we stray from that at times, but definitely, you know, that is a priority. Our Salish community took a major loss. We will, you know, continue on, but that is something that is pretty devastating. And then just the loss of the people that were spoken of this last couple of years have been really hard with the amount of deaths we had, and really, you know, people that we shouldn't be losing. And so with that being said, COVID is still here. Gotta throw that in. It's like the annoying cousin that lives on your couch and just won't leave, and they keep coming back. You think they're gone, and next thing you know, they're here again. But you know, with anything, let's be safe out there. Masking. Appreciate everyone that was wearing masks today and not arguing with us about it. You know, it helps. And you know, just being thankful for what we have as a people. You know, I know things are tough out there right now. You know, we're doing what we can as an organization to help people. But again, we don't have, you know, all the resources that we can take away from other things to help too much. So definitely with that, I have a list of things that people checked off already. So if anyone said anything, I usually probably am at that meeting as well. So I appreciate you guys, appreciate everyone that came here. Appreciate all the people that are gone now. Thank you for coming. With that, thank you.
Thanks, Martin. Lynn?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. Yeah, one of the good things about being last is most of my colleagues have mentioned everything that we have done. So I appreciate your presentation and reports. But so before we get started, I just wanted to acknowledge or give a welcoming to everybody here that showed up, because it always reminds us who we work for. We work for the membership, and our quarterly meetings. I've always appreciated you guys taking the time to come be with us today. And I also would like to just give you know, another warm welcome to Dolores. Dolores, it's good to see you today, and thank you for joining us. It's good to see you. It's good to see you and your sister together, and always it's just a good day to see you. So thank you for being with us today. Just a quick report to the membership. You know, I'm proud to announce that this council has gone through a lot of discussions regarding our finances, and we have taken action to increase our per capita payments. This will happen in December of 2022. So I think that's a big move that this council has done, and very proud. And I want to thank the staff. The staff has done a lot of analyzing of our finances to make sure that this is sustainable and something that can be done. And we're greatly appreciative of that. I also wanted to just quickly report back to Mr. Trahan mentioned this morning the state lands project that was addressed in our water rights settlement. The state lands within the reservation boundaries are going to be transferred over to the tribes. This council met with the federal and state teams yesterday at the University of Montana, and we have compiled a plan or a process on how that's going to move forward. This has kind of turned into a negotiation because there were some items that were brought up yesterday that were kind of troubling to us, and just things that we need to work out. And however, this is scheduled to be completed in 2025, if I recall. So that is the only thing I got to report to the people. And just once again, I want to thank you all for being here today. And as we're getting closer to, well, as we're into the powwow season, I ask that you all be cognizant of the COVID protocols. COVID's here to stay. I hate to say that, but it's just one of those things that's always sneaking up in our families and catching one of us off guard. So please look out for each other. Watch out for each other. Watch out for your families. Watch out for your elders and your little ones, because you just never know. So with that said, thank you for your time. I appreciate you all coming here today.
Thank you, Lynn. And yeah, save me for last. I'll be really quick. And we want to just echo one thing that Lynn just reminded me of, because it was shoot, 22 years ago. Oh, it's been that long, Lynn. I was coming back from the powwow in the evenings, daylight, and got in a head-on car crash. So, I want to remind everybody to drive safe. There's a lot of traffic out there, and also, everything you do, please travel safely and practice defensive driving when you're out there. I would like to thank everybody for coming today. The drum, the elders that spoke. I'd like to thank the retirees that their dedicated service, and our two special honorees, Betty and Sherry. But I really want to thank my fellow council members here, because they've been a great team to work with. And I've been just pleasantly surprised, and everything I ask of any of them, they do. And they've been so supportive of each other and working to move us forward. It's a new day for us, as you know. A lot of new things that happened to us this year and this past quarter. And one of the things that staff, you gotta do a shout out, like so many people have said, that our staff is wonderful. But there was some discretionary funding that we were able to capture from the Water Rights Act. And that was a transfer of funds of over $1 billion. That has never happened with our tribes in the history of our tribes. And that occurred this year. And so that's important. That's an important paradigm for us to think about. What does that money mean, and where will we use it, and how will we use it thoughtfully? And so I have the full confidence of our staff, of our council, on how we will vet that, implement that to the best of our ability, to the best interest of our people and our landscape. So I really want to mention that. But everybody talked about so many things, and they covered everything that was really pretty important that we've been working on. Lots of things out there. I'm surprised Mike and I didn't smuggle some sturgeon over to dump in Flathead Lake, but maybe next time. But there's a lot of actions out there. And we have a lot of dedicated staff, and what we really need to know is, as we've heard before, if there are any particular issues or needs. We'll try to be reactive to the inflation costs that are happening. Every now and then you'll hear some news, it's not accurate out there. A little bit of news that occurred about Bitcoin and us having something codified with that. That's not true at all. It's just basically some initial conversations that have had in the past and looking at a potential for providing some electrons to a dedicated data center. So this is all just very preliminary, and there's nothing there yet. So that was portrayed as something that was already happened, and of course it hasn't. So I want to make sure that the membership knows that. Other than that, we look forward to a great year, and we'll try to do as much as we can. The other increase that did occur was the burial assistance. We will be looking at an increase for that also coming next fiscal year, because those costs have gone up, and we want to make sure we can assist the membership as best we can with that. And that's pretty much all I have for an update. I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank my fellow council members for being great representatives for our tribes, and the staff, and so many major events that have happened so far this year. So they went very well. I want to thank everybody that participated. With that, we'll have our open mic. So we have one sign up for open floor membership, and Mary, come on up. Good morning, Mary.
Hello, I'm back again. Looks like I'll just try to come as often as I can. I'm not gonna really take time off during my work week to come bully you guys. I'm just kidding. Not really. There's just so many issues. I know you guys all are proud to be sitting up there, and you guys tell each other how great you are, and running around to all these places and putting your name on things. But you got to remember, there's a lot of bullshit going on here. Personnel, mostly personnel. I don't know why you guys can't get it straight. I don't know why you guys can't fire people that are allowing inappropriate jobs, inappropriate hiring, people firing people that shouldn't be fired. You know, I don't know why you guys can't see that. You guys all like to hide behind the policies. Well, change those damn policies. You guys are supposed to be up here protecting us. What are you guys doing? You're running off, you know, spending money, thinking you're all important somewhere else. You need to be important here. You know, I'm really sad that the people that we just elected are just falling behind the fence like everybody else. As soon as you get up there, don't hear from you guys, don't talk to you guys, don't answer you guys' phones, don't answer you guys' texts, don't get on Facebook. You know, what the hell is going on with that? There's still bullshit going on with personnel. There's the casino that nobody wanted. The casinos we have now are mismanaged. Look at Big Arm. It's a beautiful place. There's no signage. There's no RVs pull in here. RVs do this. You know, there's nothing. And it's just like, oh, our hands are tied. Oh, we can't do that. Oh, we can't raise our pay. We can't even hire a damn extra cook. Oh, we don't have the money. It's like, everybody says, oh, they're bringing in all this money, so where's it all going? It's not going back into the business. You know, now they're taking their tips, 100% taking their tips. If you're working $9 bucks, $10 bucks an hour, are you gonna run around and work extra hard for tips that you don't get? No. You're gonna become pissed off, angry. You're not gonna want to do your job. You're just there to be there, to get what little you can. I know there's other businesses that I've talked to people that get tips. They don't have to report theirs. I asked Troy, he goes, oh, well, we have to. We have to take all their tips because when they report at the end of the year, they're gonna be over. It's like, over what? I make good pay where I work and I'm a single person. I don't have dependents and I get a refund back every year. So he cannot say that 10 bucks an hour getting tips, they're gonna have to pay in. That's just bullshit. You can't make that much money. Or at least take half their tips or something, but not everything. You guys took yourself out of the equation of stopping these managers, department heads, whoever the hell these people are, from not advertising, not being tribal. All of a sudden, there's all these yuppies everywhere, hired on all these big income jobs. They're not even advertised. Who are these people? And a lot of these people that are on this board, this water compact, they don't even like Indians. They're white people. They talk bad about Indians, and there they are getting paid by us to manage our money. You think they're gonna give a shit about us when they're doing whatever they want with that money? No. Geez, guys, wake up. This is just a travesty. I don't know what it's gonna take for you guys to take back what you guys should be doing up here. That's protecting us, looking out for us, not hiding behind, oh, we can't do that, oh, we can't do that. That's bullshit. Take it back, change it. That's what we want you guys to do, is to protect us. Hire more members. So what if they're overqualified or not as qualified? If they're a tribal member, they deserve a freaking chance. There's all these drugs out there. You know why? Because people get free money for not doing this damn thing. They don't have to work. They don't have to pay rent. They don't have to pay their power bill. They don't have to do anything, and they get paid to do nothing. Of course, they're going to go do drinking and drugging and running around and not growing up, because they don't have to. If you're going to get on some kind of assistance program, make them do stuff for that money. Make them get up, make them go do something. Clean up the highways, our woods. Do something. Don't let them just lay in bed and get money. You know how bad that is for your self-esteem if you didn't have to do anything? Nobody said, oh, get up, do this. Nobody cares. They think nobody cares about them. And then the people that did succeed and are working addicts and succeeding, nobody says, good job. We appreciate you. We appreciate you being a model for what can happen if you really want it. Did they get any recognition from you guys? No. It's like, why? Everybody's struggling with something. At least be there for us to go to and get help. Not, oh, talk to this program. Oh, talk to that program. We can't help you. That's bullshit. You guys need to concentrate on what's going on here and not about being nationally recognized. We have a lot of problems, and I bet none of you have gone out and talked to any elders. Talk to anybody, not your family, not your relatives, but other people. Way out in Camas, way out in Hot Springs, Dayton, somewhere. Have you guys done that? Have you guys said, hey, I'm here to talk to you. I want to know what you guys are thinking. I asked my dad, I said, you want to talk? He said, no, they don't listen. Just falls on deaf ears. That's my dad. He's 87 years old. He's depressed. He's sad because he doesn't have a voice. Nobody cares. Nobody calls him. Nobody says, oh, we have this program for you. That's bullshit. That's not what we are. We're not white people. We don't just care about the buck. We shouldn't. And Jennifer's daughter's working with us now. She's got a 6-month contract. And she's the sweetest, nicest little girl. And she already got talked to and cussed at on the phone. Because we're a tribal business, people think they can just cuss at us and tell us, what are you doing that for? Why are you raising your rates? Like we have no right to be economical? You know, it's just, you guys think white people like us? They don't. Get that through your head. They don't. They will use us over and over. And they'll smile at you and tell you what you want to hear. They go back, they don't care about you. They don't care about any of us. I was told by a white customer that we would have nothing without them. And another customer said, we would still be in a stone age if it wasn't for them. That's what they think about us. And we shouldn't be trying to impress any of them. We shouldn't be paying the county nothing. On our land, it should be what we want, and they can just shove it. We shouldn't kiss their ass for nothing. This is our res. Why do we have to cater to them? Why do we have to act like we're doing something wrong when we're trying to do something on our own reservation? We have all this trash in the woods. We have people running around and all these white people making money off of these RVs, or not RVs, but those little Forerunner things. They're making money off of us and we don't even do nothing about it. Are we so scared? Are we so humble that we can't stand up to people and make things right for ourselves? Make ourselves proud? Take our pride back? Come election time, I'm just gonna keep pushing for people that care. I'm just gonna keep pushing for people that are gonna stand up and do something and make changes for us. I don't give a shit about Washington, anywhere else. We have our own problems that nothing is being done about. I know you guys think, I don't know what you guys think, because I'm just really unhappy with everything, and it's just sad that elders are sad and don't feel like they matter to anybody, to this tribe. Yeah, you guys gave Betty a nice blanket, you know, ooh, now what? Well, she's gone out of the picture again. Is she taken care of? Is anybody taking care of her? Does she need help? There's a lot of elders out there that are supposedly being taken care of by CP, or not, under that program where they come into their house. And I've heard people forging signatures. They don't even go see them. They don't even do anything for them. They're just signing their name for them, getting a paycheck off of them. Who's checking on that? Does anybody care? Does anybody care what these programs are doing? Letting happen? You guys need to wake up and start thinking about us. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you, Mary. Is there any other folks? Anybody else? No? Once, twice? If not, we'll probably close this quarterly meeting with a prayer. And I would like to ask if Jimmy, who? Is there an elder would want to close us with a prayer? Any volunteers? Tom? Anybody? Lawrence? No. No. If not, I'd ask one of my council members to close us with a prayer. Bing or Len, go ahead. Thank you, Len. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by James, second by Mike. All those in favor?